is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
They brought it, dude. I mean, that was, and we saw more of the amoeba than we had seen all year long. Can you explain why the amoeba was put in a garage somewhere, in Jay Leno's garage, that is so damn big with so many cars that we couldn't find it?
Great mystery. I think, if I remember correctly, Josh Boyer was asked about it a couple of weeks ago, and he came up with an answer of like, well, if they're expecting it, then you got to give them different looks. Very few teams have figured it out, and it started. If you really want to examine it, it started the first half in Buffalo. They had Josh Allen and the Bills completely, flustered. Then all of last week against Houston, and of course we're all saying, yeah, sure, it's Houston. And then tonight, same thing. I mean, they were doing the same thing pretty much every third down. I mean, lining up 8 at the line of scrimmage. We'll rush however many we feel like it, and sure as hell looked like 2020 all over again. And I know Troy Aikman referenced the game against the Rams last year when they had him totally flustered. The game against the Chargers was the same thing. And this is what we saw. I would say tonight was as good as anything we saw last year, if not better. Guys, Van Ginkel had by far his best game of the year. Javon Holland continues to play great.
Jalen Phillips
looked really, really good. X had a big night other than the one defense, the DPI he had. Other than that, he was really good with the tackling. The tackling was completely outrageous. Yeah. I mean, they were tackling tonight. So, I mean, it was just
X pulled a little matador on one of them, but that's all right. It's all good. I saw it. But he had a hell of a play, and he needed to do that because he's got to justify that money somehow or another. He's been stealing too much of it this year. But overall, what I was impressed with, Alain, was the way that front seven was able to corral Lamar and not allow him to start running wild. Because, I've always said it, if you keep him in that pocket, you're going to beat him because he can't beat you from the pocket. He's not that I don't care what these idiots on television, well, he's so accurate, this and that. That's a bunch of crap. He'll make some accurate passes. Yes, but if you can put him and force that square peg into the round hole, then you're gonna expose him, and that's kind of what they did tonight. I was really impressed with that.
No question. But if we're gonna be fair about it, it's not like he had a lot of time in the pocket to make throws from the pocket. So it was just basically, it wasn't just that they were containing him in the pocket; is that they were hurrying him on top of everything. And again, the tackling was outstanding. They were really fast to the edge. Brandon Jones, I saw Jerome Baker a couple of times. And there's also something that also helped is looked a couple of times where he was trying to get out of the pocket and then wasn't getting great footing. It looked like the turf at Hard Rock Stadium was a little bit soft tonight, which certainly didn't help. But, I mean, I don't want to take anything away from the defensive performance because it was completely outrageous.
It was just absolutely awesome. What'd you think of Tua?
I think he did a good job. I think his performance, as is so often the case, was overblown. I know Fox named him the player of the game, and I'm like, you just completely shut down.
Defense has to get player of the game.
Come on, somebody find anybody on defense. I don't care. This was a defensive win.
I agree.
Right. He made the throws that were there. I mean, but again, the big play of the game is like 64 yards to Albert Wilson. And I want to say that was a fabulous throw by Tua, but that was a massively blown
coverage. You got to hey, at least he was accurate with the pass, which, he's wide open. So make sure, because those are the passes you usually end up missing, those simple, easy, wide open ones that you just seem to overthrow the guy, underthrow the guy. At least he threw it in stride. But here's the question I really was going to lead to with that one.
Go ahead.
Did Flo screw up? Should he have started him right from the get-go? Because it didn't look like he was not healthy enough to play. So, for whatever decisions out there, you probably should have started him. And then, but the flip side of that is then we're blaming him that he's not durable enough and that he can't play. And meanwhile, everybody says he looked dejected coming off the field when he wasn't told that he was going to play and all that stuff. And so, that part of the decision by Flo, how would you grade that now in hindsight?
I don't want to grade it beyond saying it's completely weird from A to Z. Starting with the idea of he's not healthy enough to start, but he can come in if something happens. And then to make things even weirder tonight, Brissett gets hurt. It looks really, really bad. Lo and behold, it's not bad. And then the Fox sideline reporter is basically saying the doctor clears Brissett, and Flores has decided to go with Tua to make a switch. Well, okay, then why wasn't he starting in the first place? It makes zero sense because, the Dolphins need to evaluate. They need to see this kid on the field. And if, to me, if he's not well enough to be on the field from the start of the game, then he should be inactive. Then that'd be the only reason why you wouldn't have him on the field is because he flat out cannot play. So no, it makes zero sense. And Flores, whenever he's asked, he's dancing around the question of talking about, well, he couldn't make all the throws. There's just some discomfort. Well, the throw to Jalen Waddle down the field, which wasn't exactly a zip line, but was that any different than anything we've ever seen from Tua? No, and he could make that throw. He got it there, and it was a 35-yard completion.
Right.
Well,
yeah.
There's no logic there. So if you want me to give a grade to how it's been handled, it's going to be a really bad grade. So there's no arguing the fact that it's just been completely weird.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. That's the one thing that I walk away from, that I just wish he would have started right from the get-go, and we didn't have to deal with Jacoby for practically a half there when everything came in. But man, wow, what a performance tonight by the defense. This is one that Josh Boyer can hang. Well, the last 2 weeks the defense has played pretty damn well. I know last week's challenge wasn't anything special, but Josh Boyer and company at least are doing their job as of late.
But now the speculation is that it may have been Brian Flores calling the plays because he was seen with a call sheet. There's a freeze frame of him with a call sheet on the sideline.
Right.
Whoever it was, it was a great. It's a great game called by, again, whoever it was. And no, they're playing great defense. And now we're looking at Jets, Carolina, Giants, Jets again over the next 4 weeks. And if the offense just, does its part, doesn't have to be 30 points a game because it's never going to be 30 points a game. They haven't done it yet once, but they don't need to do that if they're going to keep playing this kind of defense. And all of a sudden, the possibility of going on a run absolutely is there.
What would you what did you think of the offensive line today?
A lot of penalties. I know everybody got a kick out of the Robert Hunt playing, but it's like, what the hell are you doing? You're not allowed to catch the pass.
I know, but you know what? I'm glad he caught it because Gaskin is so small that he was lost in the trash there amongst all those big guys. And if he doesn't catch it, what happens if it bounces around and it ends up as a turnover? You know what I'm saying?
Fair enough.
So in a way, it still became a blessing that Robert caught it, and he entertained us with his athleticism. So that was a lot of fun. But if you look at the play, Gaskin is so lost that Robert had to catch that ball because if anything else happens, it might have been bad news. That's the only thing I'm saying.
No, that's fair. No, and then going back to your question, the one guy who jumped out at me tonight as having a really, really rough night, and unfortunately, it's not the first time. And no, I'm not going to say Austin Jackson. It was Liam Eichenberg again.
Yeah.
Man, he's having a rough time. And then the first sack was kind of funky because Austin Jackson has his guy lined up, and it looks like he's doing a good job. And then Robert Hunt from the side blocks his guy straight into him and creates this opening for Awe to get Brissett. So it goes against Jackson when it wasn't really his fault. But Eichenberg just can't handle speed rushers to the outside, and that's something we talked about earlier, and it's not getting any better. And of course, Greg Little still can't sniff the field.
I wish they could. Yeah, he was inactive. I wish they could actually find an old offensive line coach that's semi-retired, and they can bring him in to be like a part-time consultant or something, and and hang out there with Pepe Le Pew and then try to teach them. I mean, it would be really, really nice. Follow him on Twitter at Poupart NFL. Catch his work at Sports Illustrated. He is now going to go catch some sleep. Alan, thank you for taking some time, my brother. Appreciate you. We'll catch up during the week.
Sounds good. Yes, it's Z's time.
Yes, it is. Hang in there, my brother. Thank you. There you go. The great Alan Poupart. All right. I love it.